might have noticed that I'm a little bit theatrical. Believe it or not, I starred in Footloose the Musical. No, it was not on Broadway. It was a community production, but I am a theater kid at heart, and if this recipe were in a Broadway musical, it would be the showstopper. We are making the juiciest, the most flavorful herb-basted pork chops. The leading character is played by these 14 to 16 ounce bone-in pork chops, but of course, the leading role is nothing without its supporting characters. So we have got some unsalted butter, we've got some sage, some thyme, some rosemary, some Thai chilies, and some garlic. Let's get the show started. All right, so these pork chops have been hanging out at room temperature for about 30 minutes. We're gonna season them generously with some kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper. You wanna make sure you season them all over, so let's give them a flip. And let's get that other side nice and seasoned. And because these are really thick, what I like to do is sort of pick them up and coat all of the sides with any of that excess salt and pepper that's either on your plate or your baking sheet. We are ready to go. We're ready for the first scene. Let's go ahead and get this large cast iron skillet over medium-high heat. We want to get a nice crust on these pork chops. 1 tablespoon of either canola or vegetable oil right into the skillet. You just want something that has a neutral flavor and a high smoke point. All right, this pan is ready. I think the pork chops are ready to go, although I might have a little stage fright. Let's ask him. I know this is your first big roll. You think you got it? You got all your lines? Let's get you out there. They've got beautiful voices. This is where the big dance number starts, because we are gonna cook these pork chops for 10 to 14 minutes. We're gonna turn them occasionally. We want them to be crusty and golden on the outside, and we wanna get them to about 120 degrees. Ooh, they're looking good. They're getting lots of color. So, like I said, we've got some sage, which is gonna add just this really, really warm herb flavor. Then we've got some rosemary and thyme. The thyme's a little bit lemony. Of course, we've got some garlic in there, but then we've got one of the secrets here are these Thai chilies. They are gonna add just a nice subtle heat to those pork chops and to that butter that we're gonna drizzle on at the end. All right, flip them and ooh, baby, look at this color. You wanna make sure you get those sides as well, which is gonna render some of that fat. I mean, these are looking great. They are gonna get rave reviews. Speaking of reviews, when I was in Footloose, I got rave reviews from the Sacramento Bee. I believe they said I was convincing as Willard Hewitt in Footloose. All right, so these have been cooking for about 12 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take their temperature. 120.2, these are perfect. So we're gonna reduce the heat to medium, and to the skillet, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Then we're going in with that sage, thyme, rosemary, those garlic cloves, and the Thai chilies. Forgot to get these garlic ready. Just smash them. And then with these Thai chilies, what I like to do is either cut them in half, or you're just gonna take the tip of a knife and just put a little slit in there to sort of let them release their heat. All right, all of those supporting characters into this skillet. And what we're gonna do now is just take a spoon and we're gonna baste these pork chops with this butter that is infused with all of that incredible flavor. Oh yes, this is what I'm talking about. These are looking so good. Act 2 is almost done. It is almost time for curtain call. So we're gonna transfer the pork chops to a carving board. Then you're just gonna go ahead and take those delicious herbs and just sort of pile them on top. Make sure you get that garlic and those Thai chilies. This little extra step is just gonna help infuse them with even more flavor. And hang on to this butter because you are gonna wanna serve it with your pork chops. All right, these have rested for about 5 minutes, but they are not done yet. There is one number left. We're gonna carve these and get them onto a platter. So what I like to do is just sort of move the herbs out of the way. Then you're just gonna go ahead and carve around the bone. I like to carve it off the bone and then I carve it crosswise. That way it's easy for everyone to get a little bit. And then last but certainly not least, we're gonna go in with a little more of that butter that is infused with all of those herbs and that garlic and the chilies. See if this show was worth the hype. Somebody please give this pork chop a Tony. These pork chops are so juicy and so flavorful, they deserve a standing ovation. but let me know what you think.